I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.
Hi, January 21st, 2021, and the library is actually going to put out a call to you, the public. Last year during the election, we had a mayoral race locally with 3 candidates, and so we hosted a public forum here. Really, we called that a town hall, and the candidates answered your questions, and I think we had maybe 160 in attendance, and the video was viewed 800 or 900 times. So clearly that was a desired service or event for the library to do. This year, for the April ballot, we actually have 4 different races for council seats for alderpersons. And so we obviously like to host something, but since that's really not feasible, what we're going to do is virtual candidate forums. And so we've invited everyone who's a candidate for alderman to come join us, and I will ask them some questions and just do a really sort of casual Q&A with each of the candidates. A really casual sort of Q&A with each of the candidates. And what we would like from you is to submit questions that you would like to know the answers to. So imagine that a candidate came knocking on your door and you wanted to ask them some questions about the community, about their feelings, about some of their ideas. This is really an opportunity to do that. I assume with coronavirus, there will be a lot less door knocking and coming into people's homes this year. So we're, trying to provide that. Please submit your questions to nhplnews@gmail.com by, I have to check the due date here. By January 29th. We'd like to schedule those and get them moving forward because we will be voting in April. And so we'd like to record those in the upcoming month and get them out to you. And we'll probably do each ward individually. So, each district individually. So thank you. Hi, we are here this week with Heather Holton of, I don't even know the name of your organization, Heather. What is the name?
It's the Salvatorian Mission Warehouse.
Salvatorian Mission Warehouse. I've heard it called the Salvatorian. I've heard it called the Mission. Never that holy. So welcome. Thank you so much for being with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I have a really funny little personal anecdote that I wanted to share to kind of get us started because, so like I said, I've heard it called the Salvatorian, I've heard it called the Mission. I moved here 5 years ago, and I had complimented a few patrons on the coats that they were wearing when they came in. And they'd say, oh, I picked that up at the Salvatorian right here in town, or I picked that up at the Mission right here in town. And so I started inquiring and saying, how do I go to this organization and where do I shop for these coats? And everyone described it a little differently, and it was so cryptic. And now, like the instructions, it's like, on a full moon, then you pull in and you knock on this door and say the secret word. No, it wasn't that complicated. But in fact, I myself am now giving people instructions when I get compliments on my coats. And I find myself doing the same thing, like, no, don't be scared. You just pull in. I want to know straight from your mouth more about what you guys do in that big warehouse, and how do people come? Why do you sell coats? How do people come get them? So I know that's a lot of questions in one. We can start with, what are you guys doing in there?
Absolutely. So the Salvatorian Mission Warehouse has been around for over 50 years now. And it started way back in the day with a Salvatorian brother named Brother Regis. And so the Salvatorians are a Catholic religious group. And, you know, people have heard of Jesuits and Franciscans and whatnot. So Salvatorian's just another religious group. So we have priests and brothers and sisters and lay people, which is somebody who's not a priest or brother or sister. So Brother Regis, he got some donated medical goods from his biological sister and sent them off to his priest friends over in Tanzania. And they said, send us more. So he got more and sent and sent and sent, and grew from a closet to this 25,000 square foot facility. And Sister Dora, who is a Salvatorian sister originally from Germany, she came along in the 70s and was only supposed to stay a short period of time, but she's still here in New Holstein. And they grew this place together and ran it, and then it was time to retire. So now they're enjoying retirement, and I'm director. But we continue to get donated items in. We receive new corporate donations. We have an army of volunteers outside of COVID that repack them, and then we ship them in 40-foot shipping containers to missions around the world. So
that is such an incredible history. See, so I had read that, I think I read a little bit online about it, you know, when people were telling me about it. So Tanzania was where you were originally sending things. And you said around the world now. What are some of the places that the goods land?
We send to Honduras, Guatemala, Haiti, St. Lucia, Ghana, Philippines, India, Chile, Paraguay, Peru, everywhere.
Everywhere. Not joking, everywhere. That's amazing. How often do shipping containers go out?
We average about one a week. Obviously, we were a little, yeah. Yes, tomorrow we're sending to Honduras. Thursday we have Haiti. Monday we have Haiti again. So yeah, it just kind of varies, but average one a week.
Okay, that is like I would have never expected. That's wild. What's in the containers?
It varies mission to mission, just depending on what their needs are. But generally, we do clothing, we do food. We have a lot of crackers from Sargento's is a big donor. Candy product. We have Hershey's. So right now we have 1.1 million Kit Kats in our building. We get school supplies, we get some desks, medical supplies. So it just kind of depends on, you know, if we're supplying a school, a hospital, a community center, a church. So it varies, but those are our basics that we send out.
That's amazing. So you said volunteers. You said volunteers pack them. How do the volunteers get set up with that opportunity?
Most of it is just word of mouth, and they'll show up with a friend or just find that random door you mentioned. It's door J for anybody who's looking.
I love that.
I know it is very, very scary when you're first coming in here. I moved here almost 6 years ago, so I totally understand. Yes, yeah, you totally understand.
It feels like almost like an alley or something. It's not at all. It's so unintimidating now that I've been there. But that first time I'm like, am I allowed to come in? And I felt like I had to sneak and be silent. And now I like know the volunteers, and it's lovely. It's a great experience. You just have to get over that first one.
Get in the door, and then you're good. So yes, and people call too sometimes just to check in and make sure we're going to be open, especially now with COVID. See what our hours are, and then they'll just come in, and we have a variety of opportunities. So we do have a crew that only comes when we're loading containers. So they'll spend 2 to 3 hours here on a morning and just load the container. Then we have others that are able to lift the heavier boxes like the from Sargento's, and they pack those. We have those who are able to bend and twist a bit, and those are the ones that would open up the bags of items from Land's End and repack our clothing, sort it out. And then we have table work. So those Kit Kats, for instance. Oftentimes candy is coming in a bag or whatnot that has a lot of empty space.
Mhm.
And for us, it costs the same amount for me to send an empty container to Haiti as a full container to Haiti. So I want as much stuff in there as possible. So the volunteers are opening the larger bags or boxes and repacking it really compactly. So they'll set it at a table and do that for those that don't have the ability. We have a lot of older retired people that come in because they have the time.
Sure.
So yeah, we have lots of opportunities.
So yeah, Tetris experience preferred.
Oh yes, so much. Yes, loading a container it's amazing what those guys can do. It really is. I mentioned that when they were loading last week. At the very last, they were putting in some towels underneath a box, and that's what I said. I said, this is like Tetris for grown-ups. They love it.
I enjoyed when I moved across the country, we took a U-Haul and I fit everything, I mean, it was like nothing left behind. And it was the exact same. There was not airspace. It was probably actually dangerous. I shouldn't even be admitting this because it was probably too much weight in that U-Haul. But, I paid the same for the U-Haul, whether it was full or I was utilizing space. That's fun. I'd love to try to volunteer sometime just for that. Well, maybe just to see what a million Kit Kats looks like also.
Yeah, or smells like. I mean, there are days where you open the door and it just, that waft of chocolate is,
That's almost evil.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned Land's End. So those are the coats that you have the little sales floor area then. How would you describe how you get to door J, when you can come, how that works, how the sales part of it works?
Sure. So we are at 1303 Milwaukee Drive. So when you're on the main road, what most people see is a sign that says Salvatorian Center. That is the front of the building facing the main road. We share the building with the Salvatorian Center. The Salvatorian Center is actually the administrative arm of our whole province here in the US. So the back part of the building is where the Mission Warehouse lives. So if people enter off of Hickory by the corner kitchen, then there's a back parking lot there. If you see cars there, you're good to come in. Door, when it's unlocked, door J, it says across the side of the building, Salvatorian Mission Warehouse. And you just come on in door J, and then my office is right here as people enter. So usually I'm in my office during our open hours, working on my computer so people can say hi to me. We have lots of pictures from the missions and things right away when people come in, so you can get acclimated with that as well. And then we have our little area out here where we put excess donations that come in, and we partner with a lot of the local schools. So when they have immigrant families come in, generally from Central America, where they're not going to have warmer clothing, then those kids and their grown-ups get a certificate. So then they're allowed to come in and get what they need. The Land's End jackets especially are very, very welcome. Those are things that they wouldn't have, but we also get lots of blankets and pillows and hats and gloves and things like that. So and then if they are able to give anything, we do have a donation box, so then they can drop something in. If they can't this time, maybe they can next time. It is what it is. The donations are there for them to use as needed. But any money that comes in through that donation box, we just put into our general fund, and it sends out more shipping containers. So it all works out.
That's lovely. I'm actually so happy that your description is like it's not simple instructions.
It's not.
No. But I would totally encourage people to just go in and check out what you have, because I think what feels so good about it is that you're providing a donation that, as you said, then ships those containers. So, that's the great part.
For sure.
You mentioned that you came here 6 years ago now.
Yes, almost 6.
Okay, so where did you come from?
Most recently, we lived down near Racine. So
Okay,
not super far away, but kind
yeah.
of the earth sometimes it feels like.
Are you born and raised in Wisconsin? Where?
Yes. I'm originally from up north near Hayward.
No. Okay.
Okay.
I'm from Cameron originally.
C-A-M-E-E-R-O-N. C-A-M-E-R-O-N. Cameron, shoot comments.
Where are you from? I'm so astounded right now.
I'm from Minong.
How did we not know this about one another?
I don't know how we didn't know this.
I call this real up north because I always say I'm from real up north. Everybody says up north. I saw that Scoops, I'm still offended by this, was named best ice cream in northern Wisconsin. And I was like, there is half of a state up there that you're missing.
Yeah.
Minong, oh my gosh, how funny. So you used Hayward as a reference. Our cabin is in Exeland, and I always use Hayward as like the geographical reference for it. I usually use Rice Lake, but since you're from the area, I can say Cameron, and you know my mascot. I can't remember. Minong was something with trains, wasn't it?
Trees. We were the evergreens.
Evergreens.
Yes.
Who am I? Oh,
Mighty,
okay.
mighty evergreens. Yes. Yes. I know your cheer because my high school history teacher, he was from Cameron. So he would stand in front of the classroom and do the Cameron cheer for us.
Now I'm going to do the Wisconsin thing and say, what was Mr. Who?
Tom Hagen.
Oh, okay. Super funny. Family names, you know.
Oh, yes.
Oh, how fun.
So yeah, Cameron.
That is so. Sorry, I just got wildly off topic there. That was fun.
I just did a cheer, so we're both.
Yeah. People are really going to get to know us in this.
Oh, yes, they are.
Well, so now you've been here, and as like myself, we are like transplants to this community.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing?
We live down in Plymouth, and I live near Parnell Tower. So I really like to go out and hike the loop around Parnell Tower. That's definitely one of my favorite things.
Fan of hiking, yeah.
Yes, I am a fan of hiking for sure. So I do that whenever we can. I have 4 kids, so keeps us busy.
I have one. I don't understand how anybody has more than one. I could barely do it. I'm impressed. 4 kids. It's wonderful. I just.
Yeah.
How old are they?
8, 11, 12, and 14.
Oh, okay. So they're, I was thinking.
They're big now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make it any easier. You have some.
No, it does. I mean, there's way more drama and emotion, but I mean, they can feed themselves, so that's good.
Yes. I mean, my 3-year-old can mostly do it on her own. It's just probably not safe and not.
You can't just leave them alone at home.
No.
Yeah, that's frowned upon.
Containers of ice cream for dinner every night. So. Okay, so I like to ask about food, but I'm going to skip that one because it's long. What's your favorite book?
So back in the day before we moved here, I was a youth services librarian for 7 years.
No way.
Yes way.
How do we not hang out?
I know,
right? That's so funny.
Yes.
Where?
Yeah. Down the south side of Milwaukee in Cudahy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I loved it. But so you can't really ask me a favorite book because
I know it.
Where do I start? But last night I finished What I Carry. It's Jennifer Longo. It's a YA. It was fantastic. And I actually read it because my daughter, the 11-year-old, she read it and loved it. So
Yeah.
I read it. It was so good. It's about a girl who's about to age out of foster care. But it's not like heavy, depressing or anything. It's very hopeful and very, very real. And the author is actually an adoptive mother. So her daughter, who had gone through foster care, asked her to write it.
Oh, how
Very
cool.
well done. Yeah. Yeah.
Good one. Good title. And I'll have to check our collection and see if we have that.
Yeah. It's a new one. It's a 2019, I think.
Yeah. Do you have some, I mean, similarly, I have a million favorites. My top 100 just keeps shifting and changing. And, but there are still some like classics. What did you like to read to your kids? Are there any books that really stand out that you liked to read to your children?
Ooh. When they were little, I mean, Sandra Boynton, can't go wrong with Sandra Boynton. And I follow her on Facebook, and I mean, I probably still love her as much now as my kids did when they were little.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. Yeah, any sort of, and I'll just randomly quote it to them and they'll quote it back to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, yes.
I read a lot of hers. So like most of hers have been translated into Spanish as well. And then because it's so simple and, you know, like I think the illustrations are just great, like very simple, very pretty, aesthetically pleasing. I love the color block look. And so I can read those in Spanish to my kid as I try to teach her how to do other languages. I can't do like, you know, my name is Yoon, and they're just whole paragraphs of Spanish. I can't do that, but I can do like, you know, up and down, opposites.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, it's interesting that clearly because they're simple is why all of them are translated as well.
Yes.
But I think it started by getting them through the programs at the doctor's office where they distribute books at every visit. And so then I discovered that they've made every one of hers into Spanish. That's a good author.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've asked all the questions on my list other than the food one, and I feel like we filled our time. And now I just want to end this interview and then sit and talk up north stuff with you separately. I just don't want to, you know, bore the viewers with
they may
conversations.
not be as excited about ice fishing and things like.
Then talking about the real Northwoods and do you, when you moved to this area, was it confusing? I love colloquialisms. I'm obsessed with the idea of people, you know, speaking the same language but saying things in different ways. I was always confused when people said, "Come by you." My relatives are going to come by me.
Yeah.
Do you know? Have you noticed any colloquialisms?
People say, "We're gonna get bakery," instead of "I'm going to the bakery."
Yeah.
I'm going to get bakery. Bakery is like the product instead. Like for me, bakery is the shop.
The place.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to get bakery.
That is.
It's
I
just
love
weird.
that.
It's just something different.
Absolutely. The brat fry confused me too.
Oh, the brat fry. Oh my gosh. My husband and I were looking for a house to buy. We're driving around and it's like brat fry. He's like, what is a brat fry?
Yeah. Did you, I'm going to admit that I really thought I was going to get a deep fried brat and I was so excited. I just I had this expectation. You fried the brat, right?
Yeah.
And then it turns out it was being grilled. And people have asked me what it's called up north, and I don't even know. It would just be like maybe a brat sale or something. Brat. We don't even really do them, I guess.
Do it. Yeah. I never. Yeah. That would be really disappointing if I thought I was going to get a deep fried brat and then I got a grilled brat.
It was wildly disappointing. I think it's why that one sticks with me. Like, and the funny thing is now 5 years later, I still haven't deep fried a brat to find out what that would be like. But I was very curious. I just couldn't wait. I was like, oh, you're taking sausage. I already like brats, but like how do you batter them? I don't understand.
Hey.
Nope, you grill them. But fry out. I think that's where the origin was fry out.
Fry out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But very disappointing.
Yeah. Sorry, that's fun. Anyway, I will wrap it up. I thank you again for your time. And I'm so excited to have a public explanation of how to get into the Salvatorian Warehouse. And we can archive this now for every future.
Absolutely. Yes, you can just play it back for all your patrons.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. Thank you again. So have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. I'm going down to the library.